morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance on hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So today we are going to be talking about exactly why I went to prison, what happened, all this, that, there, and the other. I guess I realized from the hundreds of comments of people saying, why did she go to prison? What exactly did she do? Does anybody know why she went to prison? That maybe I didn't make it clear enough in my 3-year prison experience video. So today I'm going to tell you guys the details. Now, I've told y'all in other videos that I started getting locked up when I was around 12 years old. I was a very troubled child. I would kick cabinets. I would bust windows out of buildings. I was just like that. I was always fighting somebody. I was a very scrappy little girl. Now, let me tell you something about me. Some of y'all may relate to this. Whenever you grow up in abuse and stuff like that, you learn that when people hit you, the pain doesn't last forever, right? You learn that it hurts in that moment, but it's going to go away. And because I learned that at such a young age, it made me very tough. It made me like wanting to protect myself all the time, didn't want nobody to disrespect me. You know, if you did, I was ready to throw these hands. Let's just say that. And so I know you guys are probably seeing a little bit of a different side to me right now, but I'm taking you guys back, okay? So at 12 years old, started getting locked up, and I got locked up at 12 years old because I pushed somebody. And it wasn't even that I hurt them. They weren't bruised. They didn't even fall, okay? But the cops were done dealing with me. The cops were constantly getting called to me, and they were finally like, click, handcuff you. We're taking your little butt on to juvenile facility, okay? When I got into juvenile facility, y'all know, y'all seen my juvenile facility experience video. I actually enjoyed being there in a way because I knew that that was the only place that they weren't going to kick me out of, right? Everywhere else that I had lived as a kid, it was always dangled over my head that if you don't do this, and if you're not perfect, and if you're not this, and if you don't fit into this little box of what this person is that you're living with right now considers perfect, then you've got to go. You got to go. You're not my child. I'm doing you a favor. You got to go. So juvenile facilities and stuff like that was the only place that people weren't telling me to go. They were telling me you got to stay, okay? So anyways, it was like this weird thing. I did a bunch of different little things. We're talking 20 years ago now. I mean, I would have to do an individual video for all of them, but I'll tell you, whenever I was 14 years old, I was with my friends. We were having an end of the school year party, and I was over at their house, and we were drinking and doing things we should have not been doing. 8th grade going into 9th grade, okay? Sure shouldn't. If there's any babies out there, do not do this. And I drank a whole entire fifth of Jose Cuervo tequila. I can't even stand the thought of the way that stuff smells still 20 years later, okay guys? I drank a whole fifth of it. I ended up getting alcohol poisoning, ambulance, police, the whole 9 yards. The cops came to the house party that I was at, lined all the kids up, gave all the kids breathalyzer tests and the parents. You think those parents were happy with me? Not at all, okay? So I was in the ER, strapped to the bed. I had tubes going down my nose into my throat. I had a catheter in. I was in there for 3 days, like literally almost died at 14 years old from drinking tequila. When I got out of there, they arrested me for drinking underage as a minor. I can't remember exactly what the charge was, but they charged me with something. And so from there, the judge sent me to this like substance abuse program, and I was there for about 3 weeks. I was supposed to be there for 6 months, and I bucked it. When I ended up getting caught from there, from running, the judge, now mind you, this is the same judge that I'm seeing this whole time. So every time I'm back in front of him, he's like, Christina, why are you here in front of me again? And every time I'd be like, man, judge, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I was. So they sent me to this other program, and this program was on the other side of the state, okay? And I still remember to this day, whenever I was driving, they had me in this white van. I'm handcuffed and shackled, going there, and we're driving down this long, long road for an hour. We're driving before we get there, okay? Long road, and there's nothing but trees on both sides, and I'm thinking, dang, I'm not going to be able to run from this program even if I can get out, because it's going to take me 3 days to get to a road. So I actually had to finish that program and complete it. When I got out, right back to the same old stuff, hitting my friends up. Hey, what's up? Who's got a bottle? Who's got this? Let's go, da, 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 da. Well, I ended up dating this dude that it was that toxic love, that toxic relationship, you know, where you're fighting and you're cussing each other out and he's calling you the B word and you're calling him up all kind of names, but you swear y'all love each other, that type of thing. Well, he came to the house that I was at and we got into some sort of argument. I was like, leave, get out, blah, 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 blah. And as soon as he got into the car to leave, I ran out to the road and I had this big rock. I threw it through the back of his windshield and it broke and he hit the brakes. And I was like, oh crap. I ran into the house, I locked the door and he came up to the door, he's banging on the door. If he would have got his hands on me, he would have got his hands on me. Okay, it was that type of vibe. I had the door locked. He was so mad he could not get in to get to me. So what'd he do? He called the cops. When he called the cops, guess what I got charged with? Launching a deadly missile. Yes, for throwing a rock through a windshield. Launching a deadly missile. That sure wasn't a very fun felony because it is a felony. Like I said, just in and out from there. There was another time where I got into a fight with these two girls. These girls, back then, there wasn't cell phones. Way back when the dinosaurs used to roam the earth, when Grandma Christina was a girl, it was the house phones. And I remember I was living at this house and these two girls kept calling me, cussing at me, talking crap, you know what I'm saying? Just like always saying that they was gonna catch me. And I was like, okay, y'all gonna catch me. Y'all about to catch me. All right, I got this, I got this. So I was driving down the road with some of my friends in the car. I wasn't driving, I was riding down the road with some of my friends in the car. And I remember seeing this car pulled over on the side of the road and there was about 5 people standing out there, and the 2 girls that had been calling me, threatening me, was standing out there. And I was like, pull this car over right now. I was brushing my hair with this brush, and it was one of those brushes, you know, they're kind of, I haven't used a brush in so long, but it's like that oval shape and it's got the long handle and that back part is that hard plastic, and you can push the bristles down and it goes air, you know what I'm saying? Those hard brushes. I was brushing my hair. I got out the car, they seen me, I just walked right up to them and I took that brush and I popped one of those girls in the mouth with it, and her lip split from here to here, wide open, blood went everywhere. The other girl tried to jump on me, blah, blah, blah. I'll spare you guys the details, but it was a fight, 2-on-1, and they called the cops on me. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Moving on, I ended up getting, when I was 18 years old, I got pulled over for a DUI. This is one of the many things that I am not proud of. DUIs are so underrated and so horrible, and I do not think that anybody should minimize DUIs. Drinking and driving is never acceptable, never. But I'm going to tell you guys my story. So I got pulled over for DUI. I was leaving a club. I go to jail, and I have got a crazy story about what happened in that time. If you guys ever want to know, let me know below. But anyways, I'm going to keep going so I can get y'all there. So I'm in there, and after I wake up out of my drunken stupor, because of course I passed out when I got there, I had to spend 8 hours in there, and then my friends came and bailed me out, the ones that were in the car with me. So another time, I was at this party, and I was drinking, and we was partying, and we was like in a hoodish type of area, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's outside, everybody's got their bottles, we're all, you know, back then I used to have a 2-liter of like Sunkist and a 2-liter and a big huge thing of vodka, and we would do like this and chase it. I mean, we was tore slap up, okay? Well, these 2 girls showed up at this party, and I don't really exactly know why it all popped off, but I ended up fighting the 2 girls. Again, to me, that's what it happened. And after the fight was done, the 2 girls tried to jump into a car and leave. And when they did, I jumped into a car and I hit their car, and then I backed up, and then I hit their car again. Boom, I completely blacked out. That is another time I could have really, really hurt somebody, but I just did not care, and I snapped. Like, I was wild, y'all. So when I came out of it, I still remember like my friends, like I turned and looked behind me, and like my girlfriends are running to the car and they're crying. They're like, Christina, stop, stop. And then I realized when I looked in front of me and I saw like, the car, the back of that car like, completely demolished. Oh my gosh. So I hauled butt and I just left the scene, right? I went and hid. I had a warrant out for my arrest for that. Fast forward, I was living my life. I was, hiding. I wasn't living in town anymore. I had moved. I actually had a job. I was making really good money, and I was seeing all of my friends have money and, buying houses and buying cars. And I had this monkey on my back because I knew I had these warrants out for my arrest. So I saved up a bunch of money and I came back to my town that I lived in, and I came and stayed with my grandmother, the one that y'all know, for 2 days. And then I took a cab to the county jail and I turned myself in because I just wanted to get these charges off of me so I could live a normal life. And like at that time, I just had it set in my mind I was going to do the right thing. But see, the thing about it is, my friends, you can't do the right thing if you're still hanging out with the wrong people in the wrong places doing the wrong things, right? I never really in my mind thought I need to change. It really kind of was like a subconscious, I don't need to get caught. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I did this and this is how I got in trouble, so next time I'm going to do it this way so I don't get in trouble, right? That was my mind frame back then. I mean, it was wrong. It was totally wrong, but that's how my brain worked. So the judge at this time, now I'm an adult and I am not a kid anymore, and I have a new judge, and he gives me 2 years probation, adult probation. And I'm like, oh, I got this, y'all. I got this. I got probation. I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm fine. I got this. All I got to do is just not put my hands on anybody. I'm totally fine, right? I made it, y'all, 23 months out of 24 months. And I got pulled over for driving on a suspended license. That's why, you guys, when I tell y'all that I haven't even had a speeding ticket in 14 years, it means a lot to me. Because when I was younger, I was constantly getting pulled over for something. I was always doing something I shouldn't be doing. So when I was back in front of the judge, I was like, listen, I don't want to do, because they were gonna restart my probation over for 2 years. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do two more years probation. Just give me some jail time. Like, let's just do some jail time. Let me get it done. Let me finish my sentence. Let me be off the papers and let me go on about my life. So he sentenced me to work release. Okay, now work release center it's like a jail. The only difference is you get to leave during the daytime to go to work, and you have to come back at night. But when you go in, they make you sign paperwork saying if you're not back in time, if you leave, if you do anything like that, then you automatically get charged with escape, okay? So I was there about 3 weeks, and I just couldn't take it, you guys. Like, I still remember like being in there and feeling so anxious, and like knowing that those doors were unlocked and I could get out. And I just called me a cab, y'all. Call me a cab. I was a cab queen back then. And I walked out the door and I left and I went home. I didn't even try to, because I had my own house. I had my own little 2-bedroom duplex, okay? So at this point, I'm on the run from the police, but I'm not really running, but I know I have warrants out for my arrest now because I've violated that situation with the work release, and I know that I've got an escape charge coming up on me. So at this point, it's my 21st birthday, and I'll never forget. Never, ever, ever forget. I did not want to go out that night, y'all. I did not. My girlfriend, her birthday was the same day as mine, and she came to the house and she was begging me, please come, please come, please come. Please come out with me, please come out with me. So I had a boyfriend at that time, and he was there, and he's like, I'll drive y'all. Let's go. I'm like, okay, fine. So we go to a club, and we're at the club. We're cutting up. We're having a good time. I'm trying to show my girl a good time. It's her birthday. She never really got out of the house. She had a baby at that time. I'm trying to show her a good time. And we're planning on going to the next club, right? So we stop at this store in between clubs so she can go in and get money out of the ATM machine. Now, this store was in a rough area of town, okay? Now, let me just let you guys know. The thing about me was I was the type of friend who always had my girls and my guys back, okay? I just had that mentality back whenever I was a teenager that if you swing, I swing. That's just how it is. Like, you fight, I fight. My man fights, I fight. That's how it is. We throw in them hands. We getting down, right? So that also made a really bad habit for my girlfriends that were around me because they knew that I could fight. I was a good fighter. And so anywhere I went, they ran their mouths because they knew that I always had their back. And that honestly got me in a lot of trouble. I had so many fights that didn't even have anything to do with me. That was me taking up for other people. It just, people took advantage of me, and I needed to feel accepted and needed to feel like people were loyal to me so bad that I put myself in these kind of situations more times than I could count. So she goes into the store. I'm sitting there. My boyfriend's rolling something. And when I see her come out, I see her going, F you, blah, 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 blah. And then here comes these two girls walking out behind her. And I'm talking about these were some big girls, okay? These were some big, tough looking girls, okay? I just did what I always do. I didn't say a word. I reached in the back seat. I got that Jim Beam bottle out. I opened that door and I started swinging. And she didn't have to say, help me. She didn't have to say nothing. That's just how I was back then. You mess with my people, you mess with me. And one of the girls had money pinned to her shirt. Okay, she had a little pin and had money pinned to it. And I snatched the money off when we was fighting. And then when we was done, I got into the car and the girl was like, give me my money back, give me my money back. I said, get your money back. You get it from me, get your money back. And so they ran off or whatever, and we went to the club. You guys, we went in that club, but about 20 minutes for the cops came busting in there. There were so many cop cars out there. I just couldn't believe it, y'all. Y'all would have thought that I had done escaped from a penitentiary. And they had their guns drawn. They came in, they dragged me, my boyfriend, and my friend out of the club. There's cops with their guns drawn. I mean, it was insane. They took my boyfriend, they shoved his head down in the hood of the cop car. They put the back of the gun in the back of his head. They're holding his head down. Shut up, shut up. He's saying, like, what did I do? What did I do? And literally, you guys, I still had the money crumbled up in my hand. I hadn't even counted it. I didn't even know, like, I wasn't trying to rob somebody, okay? In my mind back then, it was the principle of the fight. You two girls tried to jump my girl. Y'all just happened to run up on the right ones today because I was about that life. Those two girls was probably the type of girls that bully people. And you know what I found out afterwards? You want to know what started the fight in the store? When my girlfriend walked into the store, one of the people was standing by the door talking to the other girl, and the door came about that far from her and came almost to hit her. And the girl said to my friend, B, you hit me with that door. I'm a blah, 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 blah. She just ran her mouth to my friend, and my friend was like, F you, like, whatever. And so they came out the store to fight her. And they just happened to, they probably thought twice afterwards about, anyways, whatever. So soon as I saw the way that they were treating my friends, I immediately told the cops, like, it was all me. They didn't have anything to do with it. Like, it was all me. Like, it was me. And I was telling the cops, I was like, go get the footage from the store. Like, I wanted them to see that those girls started that fight. They had come out there trying to jump my girlfriend. Yeah, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong, but go get them girls too. How they gonna start a fight? Now, people had when I tell y'all, my life, people had a big habit of starting fights with me and then ended up calling the cops on me, okay? I never called the cops on nobody. They called the cops on me. Okay. So conveniently, how about this, y'all? The two girls, come to find out, I didn't find this out till I got to the jail. One of the girls was the store clerk in that store. First of all, why is the store clerk out in the parking lot fighting anyways, okay? So come to find out, one of the girls was in there talking to her girl who was a store clerk. When the other girl smarted off to my friend, the store clerk came out and they thought they was about to do something, and they did something. And so when it didn't go the way they wanted to, they went and called the cops. And guess what? Conveniently, the cameras don't shoot that part of the parking lot, even though we were parked right by the front door, you guys. It was the middle of the night. There was nobody else there but us. That lady, you know what I'm saying? So that was horrible. So when they took me to jail, so at this point now they're charging me with double battery, yet again, another double battery. At first my charge was petty theft. But when I got to the jail and the state's attorney saw who it was, good old Christina back again, they upped it to robbery by sudden snatching. So I got a robbery charge, which was a felony instead of the petty theft. And then the escape charge alone carried 15 years, okay? So I'm in jail and I've got an escape charge and I'm not getting out now, okay? There is no bond. You're going down the road. And I knew that. I knew I was going down the road this time. I was so concerned. I didn't want my friends to get in trouble because I already knew I was in trouble. I already had a warrant out for my arrest. Why bring my friends down with me, right? Why say, you know what I'm saying? So I made sure to lay it all out there so they wouldn't be in trouble too. About a month and a half later, as I'm sitting in the county jail waiting on my court date, my public defender comes to talk to me. My public pretender comes to talk to me. And he's like, they want to give you 15 years. They're tired of you. I'm like, 15 years? For what? Are you kidding me? I'm like, go pull the tapes from that store. Like at the very, very least, you can see that those girls started that fight at the very least. And he was like, it doesn't matter. Look at your record, Christina. Look at this. And I'm like, wait a minute, but those were juvenile charges. And they're like, it doesn't matter. So this is something that I learned. When you're an adult, they go back 5 years and look at your juvenile charges, okay? So I was 21, so they went back all the way to where I was 16. So they had everything from launching a deadly missile to all the double batteries that I had up and above that, driving on suspended license, the DUIs, they had all of that. And what happens is every time you get a charge, you get points. I'm gonna give you an example. I don't know the exact points, I don't remember. Let's just say the batteries are 10 points each. So you've got 10, 10, 15, da-da-da. Anyway, so I ended up with 56 points. So they took all of that stuff from my juvenile stuff and they added it all together. And so the state's attorney offered me 3 years. And I'm like, 3 years? Like I thought I was gonna get a year and a day. That's when it started getting real, right? 3 years. And he was like, that? I'm like, I'm taking this to trial. Bump that. That's not fair like this. And he was like, let me tell you something. If you take this to trial, you may beat the robbery and the batteries because of the situation you're telling me about. He said, you may. He said, I doubt it because of your past. Because no jury is going to believe you didn't start this when you have all these other batteries. He's like, but even if you do, he said, because these charges are linked together, the battery, the robbery, and the escape, you got it locked up at the same time, you have to do the trial for all of them. Now, I don't even know if this is true still to this day, but this is what he told me. He said, you may get found innocent for the other two, but then they're going to find you guilty for the escape, and then they're going to give you the max 15 years. That's what he told me. I don't know if he was just being lazy. I don't know, but I was at the mercy of it, and I took the 3-year plea bargain. And that's, my friends, how I ended up in prison for 3 years. It was not just a fight. It was a fight after a driving on a suspended license. It was, the judge was done with me. He was looking at me like, Christina, you're not learning. You're never going to learn. And that's why I tell you guys, I deserved to go to prison. I absolutely deserved it. I needed to go. And I'm so glad I did. It changed my life. Now, I'm just praying and hoping that y'all don't need something that drastic to change your life. You know, there's a saying that goes, a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. So that's what I want y'all to do, is learn from my mistakes. If I have my little babies on here, my little babies, watch who your friends are. Watch the company that you keep, okay? Do not put your hands on anybody unless it is literally your life or death situation. That whole turning the other cheek thing, I know it's hard, but I'm gonna tell you what, doing time is a lot harder, okay? It's not fun. And getting into that habit of fighting when you're younger, I know there's a lot of kids out there that do that. They're scrappy just like I was. It's not a good habit. It's not, there's so many other ways to deal with problems. Deal with your anger, deal with, you know, your frustration and your pride when people hurt your pride by disrespecting you, other than putting your hands on them. Nothing in my life was ever solved by fighting. Nothing. Ever. Never. Even with my husband still to this day. Me and him fighting the first few years of our relationship, when we would argue, we would fight. I mean, not physical fighting, but you know, like fighting, you know, arguing and stuff. And it never got solved that way. It never got solved until we calmed down, sit down, and talked it out. You know, even with my kids now, you know, if I'm like raw in their face, like just fighting with them about trying to get them to do what I want them to do, it's, you know, it's not the way that you communicate with people. It's not, things don't get solved that way. So yeah, it's really icky for me to even talk about this with you guys. It's, you know, this is not a fun video for me to make, and none of this is anything that I'm proud of. But if it can help put some perspective into your mind of how I got to where I was and what my life was like, and maybe help somebody, then it is all worth it.
Remember to be kind to one another, guys. And even when you're an adult, you have to listen to rules.
You have to follow rules or you get in trouble even as an adult, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you don't follow rules as an adult?
You go to jail.
Mm-hmm. Is that any fun place?
Heck no.
Do you ever want to go there?
No, because I already know my mom went there, so. And I know my mom won't want to go there again.
Never, ever, ever. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching this video. We love y'all so much. Show them your shirt. Say, stay real.
Stay real.
Hey. All right. Don't forget to like this video. It is a free way that you can help your girl out, and
hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and leave a like on this video.
hey, see y'all soon. Love you. Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah.